we have respected our taxpayers, and we reject woke ideology.
So folks, the video reaction I'm about to give to you today is from one of my favorite YouTubers, Overlord DVD, or Doomcock as he likes to call himself. Indiana Jones 5 is a Disney nightmare. Test audiences hate every version of it. And the chick here wearing Indy's hat, which is a sacrilege in itself, is Phoebe Waller-Bridge. You will know her from the series Fleabag. It was 2 seasons on BBC One or BBC One. And yeah, when you watched it, I've seen a few episodes. It's quite funny in places, but you can imagine it being funnier if a bloke was actually in that role and not her. It's interesting. And of course, she was one of the people that went on to ruin James Bond in No Time to Die. And it looks like she's about to do that again with another franchise. I'm not going to blame her entirely. Obviously, we know who to blame for this. And you got to watch this video, guys, because nobody's really talking about it. I think some people think this is probably fake news, but I watched it and this video is absolutely hysterical. So let's just see what Doomcock has to say.
Greetings, my friends. I am Dictor Van Doomcock, the future ruler of Earth, broadcasting from my hidden base at the center of the Earth. And I am here today because I'm getting reports of a number of setbacks for Kathleen Kennedy inside Lucasfilm. Some very juicy rumors of how Kennedy is feeling the heat as the end of her tenure at Lucasfilm draws ever nearer and retirement looms ever larger.
Can't come soon enough.
Kennedy is reportedly concerned about her legacy moving forward, but increasingly, her legacy appears to be one of failure, a string of disasters that are, if anything, worsening in the twilight of her career. I'll be talking about these failures in a series of videos, but in this video, I'm going to focus on one failure in particular, Indiana Jones 5. This film has been a colossal cluster suck from the start, and from what my Hollywood spies are telling me, it's only gotten worse. A result I find almost mind-boggling, given that Disney delayed the production of Indiana Jones 5 for a full year after...
And let me just interject here, folks, because James Mangold, the man behind Logan and that Formula One from Le Mans with Christian Bale, you know, they've taken a director like him to hopefully add a bit of substance to Indiana Jones 5. But I also blame the old codger himself, Harrison Ford. Yes, I like the guy, I'm a big fan of his, but his insistence to hold on to this role for so long. Did anybody like Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? I didn't. It was a load of crap. It really was. And, oof. They should have given it to someone like Chris Pratt, because if you saw Jurassic World, there are moments in that film where you can imagine Chris Pratt wearing the famous Indy hat and wisecracking his way through situations. Would it have been as hardcore as what we had in the earlier Harrison Ford films? No. I mean, for the record, I hate Temple of Doom because of that film, and because of Steven Spielberg, we got the PG-13 rating, because at a PG just by itself, it horrified family audiences when they went to watch it in 1984. So again, Harrison Ford, the guy's nearly approaching 100 years old, and he still wants to play this role? It's stupid.
Such was the case with Indiana Jones 5, and subsequently I am informed that Kennedy was extremely upset to learn that my video was close to 100% accurate, and even the higher-ups at Disney were shaken by what they learned from my reporting. Well, I have an update on Indiana Jones 5 that reveals just how much trouble this production is in, even after the reshoots. But before I get into that, I'd like to recap the horrible details of what Kennedy has had planned for Indy prior to the reshoots, because you'll need to keep this in mind to appreciate the update I'm about to share with you.
And it only gets so much worse, folks. I will say as well at this point that Indiana Jones 5 is going to be an absolute disaster. I mean, when you hear what Doomcock has to say towards the end of this video, it blows my mind that Hollywood is intent on destroying entertainment that we've enjoyed for many, many years. Ugh.
Here's what I told you in a previous video. This time travel plot involved Indiana Jones and Phoebe Waller-Bridge as a
Time
plucky
travel?
female reporter and/or archaeology student, depending on the draft of the script you were reading, who follows some Nazis from the 60s back in time through a mysterious portal. In one version, this portal appeared at Stonehenge. And in the course of this time-skipping adventure where they travel back to Roman times, then back to the 30s,
Oh, no.
Indy meets his younger self and...
Can't you just watch Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure and just enjoy that? This sounds like a version of Bill and Ted, doesn't it?
Lo and behold, Kathleen Kennedy uses her magic ability to turn everything into shit, manages to kill both younger and older Indies, and then has Phoebe Waller-Bridge's character take up his hat and whip, and through the miracle of time travel, she actually becomes Indiana Jones moving forward.
No!
That's right. Kennedy uses time travel to erase Indiana Jones from history, replacing him with Phoebe Waller-Bridge so that Indiana Jones was actually a woman all along. See, Kathleen Kennedy really hates the so-called patriarchy.
She
And
does.
by patriarchy, I mean anyone with a Y chromosome. And so
And a
she's doing
penis.
her best to time travel and erase as much of George Lucas and Steven Spielberg's work as inhumanly possible.
Yeah, because George Lucas made Kathleen Kennedy the head of Lucasfilms. Isn't that just a weird twist of irony that now you've given a woman like her a powerful position in Hollywood and she's managed to fuck it up? It's people always defend Kathleen Kennedy. Oh, she was one of the greatest producers in Hollywood. Really? Well, what did she do on those films? Did she make cups of coffee for Steven Spielberg and George Lucas? She probably did. She's a one-note character, just like the one-note characters she's helped to bring to the small and big screens.
According to the recent update from My Hollywood Spies, quote, "We've been told out of the 6 endings they tested, the best one gets a 35% approval from test audiences. We've been told that Bridge put the hat on in every ending."
Oh,
unquote.
no.
All my spies actually said was, Phoebe Waller-Bridge puts on Indy's hat, takes Indy's whip, and in a brave and stunning display of girl power, she becomes the bestest Indy ever at the end of all 6 versions of the movie. And yet, despite whatever reshoots they did, the audience hates every damn one of those endings, with the best
Good.
of them only getting a 35% approval from test audiences, which is god-awful, folks.
If this is true, what Doomcock is saying, and by the way, if his mask looks familiar, yes, he's obviously echoing of Victor Von Doom, one of the greatest MCU, well, actually he's not even an MCU villain at this stage, one of the greatest comic book villains we ever had. His image was in She-Hulk in the TV series recently. So, obviously, people who write the woke Marvel TV shows and the films do pay attention to YouTube, whether we like it or not, but it's great that he was in the show. I mean, again, even some people who've seen it or know Doomcock think it's just a similar kind of image, but he doesn't care because it's getting him more subscribers, which I think is hilarious. I feel like if it's true what's being said here, that they're going to kill off the male Indiana Jones and replace him with a female version, it's what Daniel Craig did to James Bond at the end of No Time to Die. I've got echoes of that. I bet you're going to see an interview with Harrison Ford saying, well, it was time to kill off the character and I don't want anybody else to play him. And I don't want another male actor to play him because it's my role. But again, if you think of the Helena Taylor situation with Bayonetta 3, you can bring a character to life with your voice and your talent, or in her case, lack of talent, but you didn't create the character. It's your job as an actor or an actress to bring that role to life.
I mean, think about it. The best Kennedy could come up with only got a 35% approval rating from audiences, which means 65% of people hated that shit. What a fucking disgrace. And Disney is absolutely freaking out about this. They know this movie is going to bomb big time.
Good.
Which is why they've delayed it as long as they have, despite it being finished. And according to rumors from my Hollywood spies, there is talk that JPEG may decide not to release it and take a tax write-off for it, or to dump it.
Just like Batgirl, what David Zaslav did this year, Warner Brothers. I really want to see this film now. I do want to see this. And I want to see Batgirl too.
On to Disney Plus and hope that enough train wreck rubberneckers will sign up for the D Plus service just to take a look out of morbid curiosity. I suppose it's possible they may mandate a 7th ending and try again. But at this point,
No.
do you really think Disney is going to throw more money
No,
at
they
this
won't.
fucking disaster? I really don't know what the future holds for Indiana Jones 5 other than abject and total failure if they pursue their present course. And once again, Kathleen Kennedy will have bolstered her legacy as the woman whose incompetence destroyed everything.
Yep, that's exactly true. Get a woman in charge like Kathleen Kennedy to ruin your franchise. What do you expect? You open the door, you let the devil in, don't be surprised about the consequences. So I'll leave a link in the video here for you to go and watch Doomcock's video in full. It's absolutely hilarious. It's a pretty long video, 12 minutes long, because he throws a lot of skits and hyperbole and everything else into the mix. He's a very funny guy. I like him a lot. And again, treat it with a grain of salt, but I actually do believe what Doomcock has said in his video. I have no reason to disbelieve it. You haven't heard anything about Indiana Jones 5 for like the last year, like he said. They halted production because Harrison Ford broke a few bones in his body and they've had to just grind it to a halt. When you hear that, it's a red flag, folks. Something is definitely amiss on the set of Indy 5. Again, you know, if you look at my movie collection, a lot of it is made up of Asian cinema, Far East Asian cinema, because for me, that's a section of cinema that's much more celebrated today than Hollywood. But if you go back, I mean, look, I've been watching some classic action Hong Kong films in the last few days, and the way they plot all the action and the story beats, everything else is so fantastic. And Hollywood, to me, it's been dead since the 90s, and I don't think you can ever find a foothold again or be significant again in the world of entertainment. So, folks, if you enjoyed this hilarious video, courtesy of Doomcock Overlord DVD, about the demise of one of our favorite male Caucasian action icons, Dr. Indiana Jones himself, not Frost, because that'll be a different video altogether. Make sure you leave a like below. Make sure you slap your nether regions and say, Jason, you are the Overlord. I love your video. I love your channel. I will subscribe. And if I were you, and if you were me, I will catch you on the next video.
We fight the woke in the legislature. We fight the woke in the schools. We fight the woke in the corporations. We will never, ever surrender to the woke mob. Florida is where woke goes to die.